Good evening, everyone. I'm coming to you with another video. I don't do long intros, but I do want to make a disclaimer that sometimes I have a little bit of trouble with my speech due to my aphasia from a brain injury. So, never mind with that. Let's get into it. I'm going to be talking about my three little keikes and what has been going on recently, or at least what was going on back then that was recently. It's been a while now, so I'm sorry I've been so late. Everything everything was going fine, but from one day to the next, my keikes started fading fast. When I see distress in one of my orchids, I have to create a game plan, assess the situation, and try to figure out what I'm gonna do to save, what I got. I knew, hold on, wait. Ever since the mother plant passed, I knew these keikes would have to jump ship sooner than later. The leaves started drooping. The root tips were shriveling up, or the green part of the roots. They do have their big three, which is 3 roots and 3 leaves. So I say it's safe to say, um, you know what I'm saying, they can survive off of the stem. I swear, the two of them were pretty perky and turgid. You guys know I love that word. The stem was still nice and green, so that kind of threw me off. I assumed it would be the first one to go. Excuse me, I'm lying. The very first sign of this going left was the third keiki that started growing. It lost a leaf, and that was, like I said, the very first sign that things were going really, really bad. I was rooting for the little guy. The 2 little roots that were coming in, they were coming in fast. Let me see. And there was 3 leaves already, but it just ran out of time. I couldn't believe that what was it? The second leaf had already I mean it was quick. It turned yellow and fell right off. But I'm sure you can see the yellowing of the stem is climbing up the stem pretty quickly. I was shocked to see this third one growing in. The node it's growing from is pretty far down, but I mean, stranger things have happened. I know I'm kind of droning on. This video turned out to be like 20 minutes long, and with all of the footage I took, I mean, I would love to put it out, you know, that far. But so I'm putting this video out from the future. I filmed this back in December. Y'all know mom/work life is all consuming, but your girl come through eventually. Anyways, I'll detail the prognosis of this little one. I won't give spoilers this time, or maybe I will, but I will think about it. Moving along, this is what she looked like originally before it started going downhill. I try to document the stages of the decay it goes through, or the orchid goes through, to paint a clear picture. She was rootless, toothless, honey. She had nothing. Here's a close-up shot of just how rootless this orchid was. I wish I had something to show everybody what the roots looked like before I cut them off. I have a nice little picture of how I was trying to save it with water culture, which I'm a huge proponent of. This is a prime example of why putting the stem of a rootless orchid in the water is a bad idea. And here we are today. This skeleton of a Oh, whatever. And it's all my fault. It's all my fault. I'll tell you exactly where I went wrong. It, I got cocky. I saw a tiny little leaf coming through, and I accidentally dunked the whole thing in water. Like I knew what I was doing, but I knew I shouldn't have done it. It- I mean, it was just, it was a funny situation, but not funny. The nubs of the roots that were there weren't working anymore. Not that I thought that they ever did, but nonetheless, I put the leaf in water as a last stitch effort, which did the trick, and a new leaf was coming through. I swear, if I hadn't dunked this part of the orchid, we wouldn't be here today picking apart these little keikes, and I shouldn't be that upset or disappointed because I knew this was coming. But I just can't help. I was telling myself this is a gravy train. It's not gonna last forever. But mm, I'm kind of frustrated. Just like when you see a spike yellow, brown, and die, that's what's going on here. It's a race against the clock because that browning is coming up quick and this nubbling isn't going to grow any faster. So I'm betting, if I was a betting lady, I'm betting it's not going to make it. Getting to the nitty gritty, my game plan. I'm just going to cut right here between the browning and the green part, and next up, I'm going to pluck the keikes right off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Um, I mean, it's pretty simple enough. Although, to be honest, I'm going to be extremely nervous. I mean, that's how I am every time I do anything with the keikes. Excuse me, with any of my orchids. So, in this book, Understanding Orchids by William Culling, I will link it down below. It's a wonderful read that really breaks down much of the basics and adds more context, kind of gives you a Steve Howard tea from Facebook. If you haven't heard of Steve, well, my dear, check him out. He seems to be the orchid god, per se. I want everyone to get all the help they can. Um, Facebook groups are an excellent source of information on all of the burning questions you can have. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of going on a tangent. From what I read in that book on orchids, I saw an amazing analogy that just tied it all in together. Um, it read like, think of repotting as surgery. You wouldn't cut your foot off from a sprained ankle, would you? This may be an unpopular opinion, but you don't have to repot every orchid you every orchid you have or just got, just because it's been a year or two, or like I said, you just bought it. My friend Darrell from Orchids for Dummies, if you are not subscribed to him, please do and check out his channel. Told me if they're growing, they're happy. And, he really has some of the best advice that I've received. He's he really is the pinnacle of where I started to have my success in growing. Less is more. So my pre-op per se for these two babies can goes as follows. I will take two Chinette plastic cups for each um, orchid separately and burn some holes in the bottom. Put some packing peanuts at the bottom, then some New Zealand sphagnum moss, and plop them on there. Boom. The method of removing them can be one of two ways. Cutting part of the spike. Um, I don't know how to explain it, just like the top, and like I think you can kind of visualize it, I hope. Or just pluck them right off. Just give them a twist and a pull. If you've made it this far into the video, I thank you so much. I will go ahead and give the good old YouTube spiel. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can see every time I put up a video. These two keikes will love you forever for it. We're at the 10-minute mark, so if you have not gotten sick from listening to my voice, I want to show some more pictures, some baby pics of these two. Here's my first little baby. It is so cute. I remember thinking, and this is the second one. I remember thinking like, oh, it's a secondary spike, and it just kept looking weirder and weirder. And bam, thank you, ma'am. This is a secondary spike that will sprout from a node, same as a keiki. Unfortunately, she didn't give me any blooms. Buds were coming through, but I didn't get any blooms, unfortunately. This orchid just had such a strong will to live, and it gave me so much growth, more than any orchid that I have owned, even though I don't have many, but it was just a cool thing to watch, especially like this third keiki that came up. Um, I'm really hoping that it's gonna make it, but I don't think so. Hey, check out my Christmas tree and my happy helper. She was I couldn't get her out of the shot from here, but anyways, I guess I'm just gonna ramble on a little bit more. This is when I put too much water, and then that's how I dunked it in. I just pressed it down way too much. If I had just not gotten it into the crown, who knows what would have happened. I was really looking forward to seeing what could have been, like if the little leaf would came through. Okay, I can't help it. I gotta spill the beans. Um, the third one didn't make it. And after I cut the stem down and put it in some water, the, I forgot to mention that, I placed it in water at just like if you would have propagated it. Um, I've seen some people do that. I didn't record when I attempted to do it, which completely failed. But once I did that, it was kind of growing, but then it stopped. Ah, I forgot I recorded this part. Yeah, I cut off the this dead part and placed it in some rainwater. I was so happy to finally get it out of the way and make room for my other orchids. I really hate to say that, but you can see the cut and it's kind of green, which means it's the meaty part, and that means it's still kind of alive, even though it's hollowed out. This seems to be a good height and length. Like I said, I'm not expecting much from this propagation, and I was right. There was not much to the propagation. I'm extremely optimistic with the other two. It's going to be a very successful procedure. Um, and I didn't mention it before when because I couldn't quite get to the potting fast enough, but I really wanted to. The holidays was so fun filled, packed up, and I would spray. I would put it over the shower, the tub, and spray it, like really spray it all completely down with seaweed extract. Well, diluted seaweed extract every morning and every night, which I'm sure was not enough to keep it very viable. It didn't. It did. It kept. I think it kept it going, but not necessarily completely reviving it or hydrating those two. Um, Especially, I was, what's it called? Spraying down the third one, but I, I mean, it was getting by. Oh, now for the bonus content. Like I said, I filmed this so long ago I completely forgot. I wanted to go over the small amount of fertilizer I'm using. Um, this is going to be mixed up with rainwater, seaweed extract, cow mag, and a pinch of Epsom salt. There is Better Grow. I use Better Grow Orchid. It's not Orchid Bitter Bloom, which is one of the types of what's it called, fertilizers you can use, but you don't necessarily it gets down into the weeds when you're talking about the ratios, 10 10 20, or this one was 11 something whatever. I was putting this into all of my water culture, like they were sitting in it 24/7. It was doing pretty good. It didn't do any harm. I was watering with this solution every watering, I guess every fourth watering, I guess they said, I forget what they said. It's like showering, or you just flushing. You just water with regular, whatever you are watering with, no fertilizer, um, and that's flushing, I guess. I would have preferred to use charcoal instead of packing peanuts, but I was using charcoal from from one of the bags of media, the crappy media, so I didn't have any more. And I'm rambling now, so I'm going to end the video. I hope everyone has a great day or a great night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.